Welcome back everyone, it's me Matt, thanks for joining me. Let me know what your favourite unmanned ground vehicle are, because that's what we're talking about today, and I know this kind of technology is really prominent in today's modern conflict and combat scenarios, because of course, autonomous vehicles are the future, they really are. And ladies and gentlemen, we are really looking into a deep dive of a topic that has been circulating the military defence tech world for quite a number of years. The Ripsaw series of vehicles, particularly the M3, which is a fascinating piece of unmanned ground vehicle technology developed by Textron Systems in collaboration with Howe and Teledyne FLIR Defense. Now, if you're familiar with defense expos, glossy marketing videos, or futuristic military concepts, you've probably seen the Ripsaw series before. It's fast, modular, brimming with potential, and yet, for all its hype, it's never quite made it to the main stage of military deployment. Now, before I go any further, I want to address something up front. This is not breaking news. The Ripsaw series has been around for a while, and many content creators and defense channels have covered it extensively, and here I am also doing the same thing. However, what brings it back into the focus for me personally is the recent showcase of the Ripsaw M3 mounting its anti-tank missile pack, or whatever it is. This new configuration is impressive and highlights the incredible potential of UGVs, but it also forces us to confront a frustrating reality. For all the bells and whistles these vehicles boast, they are still largely stuck in the realm of prototypes and defense contractor showrooms. Why is that? Let's unpack it. First of all, we need a brief history of the Ripsaw series. To understand the Ripsaw M3, we need to take a step back and look at its roots. The Ripsaw series began in early 2000s as a passion project by the Howe brothers, and hats off to them, this is an incredible vehicle. In 2001, they introduced their original prototype, the Ripsaw MS-1, at a vehicle show in Dallas, Texas. Its high-speed and futuristic design caught the attention of the US Army, sparking years of collaboration and development. Over time, the Ripsaw evolved through various iterations, including the MS-2, the MS-3, and now the M3 and M5 models. Each new version promised significant improvements in speed, payload capacity, modularity, and mission versatility. By the time the M3 rolled around, Textron Systems had taken the lead in commercializing the platform for military use. Let's take a little bit closer at what the M3 actually brings to the table, because on paper it's genuinely quite impressive. In terms of its payload capacity, the M3 can carry up to 5,000 pounds, making it adaptable for a variety of missions including logistics, reconnaissance, and even combat support. For its offload power, it offers a 10 kilowatt of offload power, enabling it to operate a wide range of advanced payloads from reconnaissance equipment to weapon systems. Top speed. Now this thing can hit over 30 miles an hour or 48 kilometers an hour, which is lightning fast for tracked vehicles of this kind. Of course, with unmanned ground vehicles, you want utilitarianism and the ability for it to be completely modular, and the deck area boasts a huge amount of space for allowing operators to customize its loadout for very specific missions. Has a great ground clearance of 14 inches. The M3 can traverse rugged terrain and obstacles that would otherwise challenge most other ground vehicles of its kind. Silent Watch. It's battery powered, which means it can operate for over 19 hours, ideally for stealth missions and extended reconnaissance. And to be fair, this thing is fairly quiet. Most of the noise that it makes when it's powering across country is the mud splashing around all over the place. On paper, this all sounds like the future of warfare, especially when paired with the growing role of autonomous systems. So what's the holdup? Well, the promise versus the reality. Here's where things start to unravel. Despite being heralded as a revolutionary platform, the Ripsaw M3 is yet to be seen in widespread deployment. In October 2024, 2 M3 prototypes were delivered to the US Army for evaluation under the Robotic Combat Vehicle or RCV Phase 1 Platform Prototype Program. These vehicles were tested at the Aberdeen Proving Ground, which, by the way, if I can ever get out there one day just to see some of the stuff they test, I would be in heaven, where they were scrutinized for their ability to integrate into the Army's future combat fleet. And yet these prototypes remain just that, prototypes. There's been no confirmed decision to mass produce or deploy the M3, either in the US or internationally. It's still stuck in what I like to call the defense contractor limbo, where concepts are endlessly tested and showcased but rarely actually operationalized. Well, you're probably screaming at the screen right now and saying, well Matt, what about the international interest? It's got to be something. Well, unfortunately it's all show and no go. Now you might assume that if the US Army hasn't pulled the trigger that other countries might have stepped in. After all, the demand for advanced UGVs is growing, particularly in conflict zones like the Ukraine. However, as of now, there's no concrete evidence of any nation that has purchased or deployed the Ripsaw M3 or its variants in active duty roles. Sure, the vehicle gets plenty of attention at defense expos, where it's often featured alongside flashy marketing videos, and let's be honest, these marketing videos are really good, and the vehicle itself, in all honesty, in my personal opinion, is really good. But when it comes to actual orders, training, or combat integration, the Ripsaw really does seem to just fall short. If you, my viewers, know of any confirmed deployments, please let me know in the comments sections, as I'd love to be proven wrong. So why is it that this incredible vehicle is just not being deployed or purchased by countries? Well, there's a few reasons. And UGVs in general, to be honest, not just the Ripsaw, and they have struggled to transition from prototype to battlefield. First of all, the number one is cost. The Ripsaw is not cheap. For militaries already juggling tight budgets, investing in unproven platforms can be a very tough sell, particularly to those in the higher ups of defense and military contract specialization. There's the integration challenges. Ground-based autonomy is far more complex than, say, airborne drones. Factors like terrain, adaptability, communication reliability, logistics, they all create huge hurdles. There's also the conservative procurement program. Military organizations tend to favor battle-tested systems over unproven technologies, especially when lives are on the line. But in this particular case, there's not as many lives on the line because there's no lives inside of the vehicle. It is a niche problem. UGVs like the Ripsaw occupy a relatively small operational niche, making it harder to justify large-scale adaptation, which is why the US military is testing extensively for small scale, and the Ripsaw, I would say, is a very good start for small scale. Instead of purchasing from a major mega corporation, I mean, Textron's pretty big, but when it comes to looking at things like, Rheinmetall and their own kind of various other UGVs that exist, I think the Ripsaw's a really good start. Now, a word about Textron and a bit of my gripes. Before I continue, I need to share a bit of a personal note about Textron systems. Now, I'll keep it professional, but let's say their TAP-V, or Tactical Armored Patrol Vehicle, is certainly not my favourite platform. For reasons I cannot go into here, it's safe to say I'm not exactly a Textron fanboy. That said, I'm trying to keep this analysis fair, but that track record isn't really inspiring a lot of confidence in this particular program. And look, I'm not trying to be biased here, it's just facts. What frustrates me the most is how these vehicles like the Ripsaw are marketed. Defense contractors create stunning videos and splashy expo displays to drum up excitement, but when it comes to delivering operational value, the results are lackluster. It's all too easy to get swept up in the hype only to realize that these vehicles are little more than a glorified prototype, waiting endlessly for someone to actually take a leap of faith. And the Americans are testing the water. The Ripsaw M3 is a perfect example. For all of its promise, it's hard to escape the feeling that this is more about securing funding and keeping development pipeline flowing than creating a genuinely impactful military asset. And I could be completely wrong here, and I'd love to hear your comments on this. But the future of UGVs is very uncertain. Despite these frustrations, I do believe the potential of UGVs is there. The collaboration between Textron and Kodiak Robotics integrated an advanced driving self-automated technology into the Ripsaw M3 is a step in the right direction. If they can overcome the challenges of autonomy and integration, platforms like the Ripsaw could eventually become indispensable tools on the battlefield. That's a big if. For now, the Ripsaw remains a fascinating concept, a tantalizing glimpse of what might be, rather than what is. But in conclusion, this is a bit of a cautionary tale. The Ripsaw M3 is a case study in the gap between military innovation and practical application. It's a vehicle with immense potential, but the potential means nothing if it's never actually realized by defense firms or leadership of militaries around the world. Until nations commit to purchasing and deploying platforms like the Ripsaw, it will remain more of a defense contractor's showcase than a battlefield asset. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is the Ripsaw M3 the future of warfare, or is it destined to gather dust in a warehouse? And if you've got any insider knowledge about its deployment, or lack thereof, share that too. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Please again make sure you like and subscribe the video, and if you do enjoy, I'll see you in the next one. Take care everyone, all the best, bye bye.